Welcome to The Explainer. I am so excited you're here today because, frankly, we're going to fundamentally transform how you think about and utilize AI. For most of us, AI has just been this basic tool, right? A simple question and answer machine. But today, we're going to map out exactly how to evolve your workflow from simply prompting a basic chatbot to literally engineering and commanding a comprehensive, autonomous operating system. If you want to get way more done in way less time and with vastly superior results, you are absolutely in the right place. So here is our game plan for today. We're going to cover the chatbot illusion, the 3 levels of AI, the anatomy of precision output, entering builder mode, the agentic architecture, and finally, system design and mastery. We are going to logically level up from basic prompting all the way to complex systems architecture. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the chatbot illusion. We really need to talk about upgrading from a basic user interface, because right now, most people are completely underutilizing the massive capabilities sitting right at their fingertips. Think about how most of us use Claude. We open it up and use it like a really fancy search engine. It's honestly kind of like buying a Ferrari and only driving at 10 kilometers an hour through a school zone. Using it just as a basic chat interface creates this massive bottleneck. It's a highly restricted pathway. To get to the reality of unlocking an autonomous OS, where information flows dynamically through these complex pathways, we have to completely shift our mindset. We have to move away from just asking one-off questions and start engineering continuous, flowing workflows. And to make that shift, we really need a solid framework. So, section 2, the 3 levels of AI. Let's start climbing the hierarchy and map out your exact upgrade path. There are basically 3 key shifts in how we interact with AI. Step 1 is level 1, which is all about information. That's your basic chat. Step 2 is level 2, focused on output, which we call builder mode. And finally, step 3 is level 3, focused on outcomes. This is true agentic work. Notice the progression here, right? We are moving from simply requesting data to actively building assets to finally engineering complete autonomous outcomes. You can really visualize this as a staircase. Down at the bottom, level 1 is just a simple information exchange. You ask, it answers. It's a totally discrete task. But climb the stairs to level 2, builder mode, and you stop asking questions and start actually making things. But the ultimate goal? That's up there at the top at level 3, agentic work. This is where you hand Claude a complete goal, and it enters this incredible autonomous loop where it thinks, plans, clarifies, and executes entirely on its own. But look, before we can reach that autonomous peak, we absolutely have to fix our foundation at level 1. So, section 3, precision output and the anatomy of a prompt. The crucial point here is this simple formula. You need to start treating your prompts like a math equation, or even better, like a technical specification. First, context. You have to set the stage. What actually is this document? Second, objective. Define the exact task. What do you want it to do? And third, rules. You must specify the parameters. Do you want bullet points? Do you need citations? Context plus objective plus rules equals precision output. It's time to stop treating your AI like you're texting a buddy and start treating it like you're briefing a highly capable professional employee. Now, once you have that precision prompt beautifully engineered, you've got to run it through the right engine. Haiku is your lightning-fast model. It's best for speed and volume. Think summarizing 50 pages of meeting notes in just a few seconds. Sonnet, on the other hand, is your everyday default. It is perfectly balanced for drafting emails and your standard daily operations. And Opus, that is for the heavy analytical lifting. Deep pattern recognition, complex, multi-step financial analyses, that sort of thing. Match your perfectly engineered prompt to the right engine, and the results are frankly incredible. Okay, with our foundational prompts rock solid, let's move into section 4, entering builder mode. This is that magical transition from just chatting to actually making. This is where things start getting really fun. Instead of just giving you a wall of text back, Claude can generate functional artifacts right in your browser window. It essentially creates a side-by-side workspace where your chat is over here and a fully rendered interactive UI is right next to it. You can ask it to build a product launch plan, and boom, it generates editable spreadsheets, functional mini-apps, and highly targeted visual iterations. And the best part? You can highlight just one specific block of text to refine it without having to regenerate the whole entire output. You are literally constructing digital assets on the fly. Now, to supercharge this builder mode, you want to use projects. Think of projects as your own persistent brain trust. Instead of starting from scratch every single time you open a window, you create a dedicated project hub. You feed it your chats, your artifacts, your specific files, like, say, every coaching transcript you've ever hosted, and, crucially, your custom system instructions. The result? A unified intelligence that perfectly mirrors your exact voice and your specific operational needs. It's a total game changer. So, we've mastered the prompt, and we're building artifacts. Now we arrive at Section 5, the agentic architecture. It's finally time to build the machine. Before we look at the tech stack, I need you to memorize this. It's basically the absolute golden rule of AI agents. If your system doesn't actively ask you clarifying questions to define the scope, or if it doesn't show you a step-by-step plan before acting, it is not an agent. It's just a chatbot. True agents navigate uncertainty through strict systemic processes. So what does a true agent actually look like? Well, it's a three-part architecture. First, you have the workflow file, the SOP. This is just a plain English markdown file with strict rules. Second, you have the agent, which acts as the coordinator, reading that SOP like a master project manager. And third, the tool set, the workspace it uses to actually execute. And this reveals a massive core insight. The true intelligence lives in the written instructions, not in some incredibly complex technology stack. A great, well-written workflow file beats a complex API integration every single time. Let's step into the engine room for a second and look at that instruction file in action. This is the Claude.md file. By putting this markdown file into your project, you establish the persistent rules of the game. You define the project context. You set the tone under About Me, telling it, for example, hey, I prefer concise explanations. You lay down non-negotiable system rules, like always ask 3 clarifying questions. You even define the folder structure for where its output should be saved. This one single file is what transforms Claude from a generic assistant into a highly specialized worker. Once you've got that file in place, the agent enters the planning mode loop. It's brilliant. You give it a goal, it immediately consults its rules and asks you clarifying questions. Then it proposes a written structure and sequence. But here is the most critical part of this entire autonomous loop. Step 4, human approval. The critical pause. I literally cannot emphasize this point enough. 2 minutes of review saves 10 minutes of execution. You absolutely must pause for human approval in the planning loop. Never, ever let the agent execute immediately. Reviewing its plan ensures it's heading in the exact right direction before it burns computational power and, more importantly, your valuable time generating the final outputs. All right, to wrap up our explainer today, let's turn to Section 6, System Design and Mastery. This is all about how you deploy your agents and make sure you avoid the common pitfalls. When you go to build your agent stack, you want to do it in phases. Don't rush to the finish line. Start with Phase 1. Build a single, self-contained research agent. Master that first. Get reliable input and output on low-stakes document summarization. Then graduate to Phase 2, maybe a repurposing agent that does iterative processing. Only after you've mastered those two should you even attempt Phase 3, which is multi-workflow systems where one autonomous agent triggers another. Capability isn't unlocked all at once. It is systematically built over time. If you find your agents are failing, it is highly likely because of a few really common amateur mistakes. Things like starting from zero every session, giving vague goals like, hey, do some research, or skipping that written plan review we just talked about. To achieve true professional mastery, you've got to enforce persistent context using that markdown file. You must use high specificity in your prompts, mandate human-in-the-loop approval, and force those clarification questions every single time. And that brings us to our final and definitely most important takeaway today. The intelligence is in the instructions. You are no longer just a prompt engineer begging a chatbot for a good answer. You are an operational system designer. It's time to stop pattern matching and start engineering complete workflows. The tools are all right there, the framework is set, so the only question left to ask is, what workflow will you build today? Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer, and happy building!